Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Talkback for the What Am I Rolling zombie game that might have a title by the time this comes out.
Harrowing.
The harrowing.
For context,
The harrowing.
for the listeners, we recorded the first episode yesterday, and we recorded the second two episodes today. So we're just recording off the back of finishing episode 3, where spoilers. If you're listening to this, you're in for spoilers for the whole thing. Reed has just died. So
What?
Wow.
Well, and Richie has died as well.
Richie's also died.
Richie.
That's old news at this point.
Never.
Lewis is here. Richie died. Now Lewis
Hope's
is here.
Hope's leg died.
Yeah.
Hope is. I think we might get a TPK except for Stacy.
Yeah. Muscle mommy
guess-
survives
yeah.
apocalypse.
She's doing well so far.
Because my thinking is literally that, my hope was that we were going to have a bit of downtime for me to be able to kind of try and remove a wound or something. But now that we're not, I'm like, I don't have high hopes, unfortunately.
You actually can't remove those wounds anymore apart
can't.
from natural healing.
Yeah,
It
it's
has to be
long
5
term
days.
rest now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then,
There's no long rest.
We fucked up on that
Yeah.
healing roll.
I
did not
really
roll well
screwed
enough,
it.
and then Reed.
It's
I
kind of
really bad.
It's
And then
kind of
turned on
poetic
us.
that you did, though.
yeah, it makes sense.
It was like a betrayal already before
Yeah.
that. You know?
That's what I'll start us off then, because I feel like, because again, this is my, I think, third or fourth time playing with Savage Worlds. I've I looked a bit before, I think, the previous edition that Pip was talking about, and my god, the dice really do tell a story. We always say that. As soon as I rolled those, I was I rolled 2 snake eyes in the last couple of episodes, and they were always at thematic moments, and I was like, there's nothing I can do about it, but I was like, fuck, this is the worst possible time, and it just really added to it. And with the combat system as well, because of the way it changes, again, so fluid is another cool aspect of it. It's just this is so, whilst it could be quite crunchy and all that sort of thing, I just really loved how we can really customize and really go, what does this mean? It has to mean this. And it's almost like the simplest option, whereas sometimes you're like, oh, it's a 13 in D&D, you're like, what does that mean? I said, well, here's the success and raises and stuff like that. Once you get your head around it, I just really love the way it simplifies things down about what do you think is the most important and the most simplistic way the story goes forward.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to fail as well.
Oh yeah.
Which I love.
Oh, tell me about it.
While at the same time, it's so easy to succeed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's it has that real the fuck up cascade where you can succeed and you can do one big huge success that is super awesome and does exactly the thing you were trying to do, and you're like, great, I did it, and then you move on. Whereas if you fail, it's like, oh, okay, you failed, and now you're wounded, now you're exhausted, now there's minuses stacking on top of minuses, stacking on top of minuses, and then suddenly you're like, doesn't matter how big my dice are, I'm rolling with too many things, and it's just like, oh yeah, this is illustrating how fucked my character is. It's nasty.
Which is why I feel very vindicated by my little inkling that I had, where I was like, I reckon zombies would be real good in this system.
For sure.
Yeah.
Hit
for
hard.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely shaken as the rule would apply to the game and to myself. This has been a great day of recording, and the previous evening as well. But also, hot damn, it's taken a lot out of me.
Yeah.
Well, Hope's gone from being this really preppy, go-getting, I parkour, I do this, I do that, to she's lost. That dice roll to figure out where the bite landed changed everything. It was it can only win if it lands on her arms, and even then, it would have been something terrible. So
1 in 3 chance.
So, honestly, I think she would have preferred it to just get her on the neck, just take her out.
Oh my god, seriously?
Yeah, she was absolutely that. She has spent her life being at least a little bit useful. She's she's like a defender, like a fighter, all of that, and now that has been stripped away, and she's like, well, what else is there?
And as one of the young contingent, it's also Hope is probably the most narratively interesting character to still be alive and permanently, sans leg, which, sad for you on all your dice rolls, but like also
Thematically fun.
Yeah, thematically harrowing, which is again the theme of
name of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and it's that lovely that Jess has been playing up a lot of the like, oh, this is a kid that we basically raised as a community, was raised in this community. And it's just like, if it was any of the other, right, if it was Stacey or if it was Bud or whatever who'd been bit and had their leg cut off and we're even slower, we'd have just been like, I'll stay behind. It's fine. Like, we'll stay, we'll hold the door, as it were, while you guys get away. But because it's Hope, we're all just like, no, we gotta get you out of here. We have to help
It's
you.
not even like, Hope's not even like a kid, she's the first kid. She was the one that was born into the world first. Like, it's that full... Bud and Stacey have adapted to this over 30 years. We've had time. Hope was like the first kid to grow up in it, and as everything was changing, she was the one thing changing with it. It just watching that happen and go, no, we can do this as long as Hope. As long as Hope is there, we have hope. And I don't know, in my head, that's sort of where Stacey's at, which is like, no, I can't imagine this going down. No. We save the kids. We save that generation.
I think maybe eventually, spoilers, she might take that choice away from you.
Oh, don't you dare.
I don't know.
Look, I said this when we were off air. We're going into a chase now to honor the choice Fiona made. The consequences of Reed's actions at the end have to be heavy.
But they're stopping up for a little snack, though, Zach. And they have a little munch on Reed's body.
Reed.
And then gives us the extra chance to get away.
No, there's no fat on it. It's just pure like gristle.
Gristle.
So, nothing there.
Well, let's see how it goes.
I mean, my parkour cancels out my negative wounds, so that's nice.
That's true.
That's nice.
No, but I want to talk about Fiona's big choices and many other things, but just on I really liked, Stacey's like, I guess, maternal instinct or something.
Yeah, it was really well played,
so
really well
good.
done.
It first of all, it gave me such a great, when Richie bought it, I was just like, of course, yes, it's a small community, and this is probably how all the adults feel, no matter how close you are to these kids, they're still the kids you grew up with. And when I got to bring in Lewis, like, sometimes you like have a character idea and then the second they are birthed into a world, just something happens. You're like, oh, I guess this is what's happening now. I had a whole, I'd thought about Richie a lot more, but I had some ideas for Lewis, and then Zach sent me harrowing circumstances.
Each of you, when you get a new character, are going to receive like a fresh packet of information of context for what has happened to them.
Which is great, and it makes sense and it's helpful for the narrative. But as soon I was like, oh well, if Stacey's been nice to the kids,
also
a spared kid, immediately easy to
absolutely fuck you, Liz, for just being like, did you see my mom?
We were like,
Unbelievable.
That was a knife twist.
Love that.
Of course.
That was a real Stacey, make a deception check because
she's fine. Don't go and check, sweetie.
She'd be with us if she. Nothing.
I definitely saw her walking around earlier, maybe shambling. There was some biting as well.
I saw bits of her.
She's drunk. She's drunk. She was taking a nap in Bud's shack, and then.
Oh yes, we were having an affair.
Bud McAllister gets around.
Yeah, Casanova Bud here.
Yeah.
No, in my head, Claudia is the because in my head, Bud had a bunker, right? He had like a secure a location underground that he'd prepared even before any of this stuff happened, And I think him and Claudia was a thing that happened like right before he went underground, right? And I think he was underground for a very long time, just like like a good few years, just like until the food ran out. So it's kind of like, the last woman I ever slept with.
Consequence.
Yeah, no, for context as well, I selected secret as a hindrance, and I thought this would be quite a good one because I think of it as a hindrance in the terms of the fact that Hope prides herself on not getting super attached to people, ideally, but kind of accepting somebody as like someone who it means something to her is very big. So having the most tangible connection like right there, and in jeopardy, she just kind of like it makes it very uneasy. And that's why I kind of like added in, like, you know, when you came to like help her along, she just kind of finally gave in and like was like clinging to you, you know. But yeah, but now she's like, but really, it's kind of a bit selfish because she's like, I think I'm going to die, so I'm going to tell you some news, buddy.
And now, you both have a burden now.
Yeah. Hooray!
Now you're just going to be falling over each other to sacrifice yourselves.
Yeah, you can't stop me.
Yeah, well, it's just like I haven't done anything else for you, right? Like I'm not your dad. I'm not your real dad. I'm just the donor. I'm just some guy, right? Like that doesn't mean anything. The fact that we're related by blood is cool, but effectively I did nothing to raise you. So it's like, oh, what can I do? Make sure you live, or try, right? Like that's it.
I was going to say, because that was one of my stars from the first episode, which obviously, because all we talked about was Train to Busan. I appreciate that. But my star from the first episode was actually the interaction between Sadiq and Bud, because that sort of almost laid the sort of flagstones for like relationship, like because you feel like Bud is going to be like super standoff and aloof or something, but it actually wasn't. And I really loved that choice you made, Pip, because it just felt like, again, that there was a it wasn't like 2D, like tinfoil hat in the bunker and then like I've made all these things. It felt like there was a real person. It felt, you know what it made me think of? It made me think of Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec. That's the sort of like the stern exterior, but the sort of fleshy, like not fleshy, but like cuddly underside to it. You know,
that's kind of where I wanted to go. Like, I think he was absolutely that, right? And then he lived in it. He was like, I was right. I've lived in my bunker for a while because I was entirely right about things going to shit. And then it's like, oh, my food ran out. And, I've been in here a long time and now I'm very old and I haven't been getting out very much. So I'm weak. Like I can't walk very far for very long. I can't run. I need people. If I'm going to live, then I have to be around. The only way I can be useful is if I have people who can protect me so that I can do the things that I'm good at. And then I love the idea of this, like, you know, lonery misanthrope arriving at a community and the community just being like, absolutely come in. Yeah. Oh, you're very useful. Oh, that's great. You can fix stuff. You can, and he's just like, oh, I love this place.
Oh, you can break the place to explode? Great.
Yeah, you got it.
That's exactly what we need. Should we address the Reedgate?
Reedgate.
Fiona absolutely knew what she was doing.
Yes.
I watched her face. As soon as that little betrayal tongue flicked out, I was like, I know where we're going.
The thing is, I mean, Fiona Howat, what a storyteller. But like, because there was a part where like you've kept seeding hints to Fiona's other character, which I will say in case somebody's listening to the Talkback, before it comes out. But like, there's a part where I was thinking like, Reed needs to die. Like, narratively, Reed needs to die. And as soon as I was thinking that, his little face pops up with a grin, and I was like, oh. And it was so... And there was also a part where it's like, yeah, we just had a nice moment with Hope and Bud. We had a nice moment with Lewis and Stacy. And then you have, you know, again, whether that was where you intended the character or not, but you had, this... weedy little vicar who's kind of still there, being a bit on the outskirts, not rolling very well kind of thing. And like, the fact that you just, it was just brilliant. It was so good.
The character flip for me, it was going to Margaret and then being like, but Margaret's bedbound. Can't leave Margaret. Got to go find Margaret. All the like helping the needy, helping those who can't help themselves. And then the minute that it's like, all hope is out the window, flipping that and being like, no, self-preservation has now kicked in, as you would expect at some point.
Yeah.
But for it to happen then,
so easily,
I think just hurt a little bit more.
Yeah.
Which was good. It was so good.
Cause I think in my mind, like, again, just thinking about it in general, is that if I was this character and that stuff happened, like, I don't know, because I think ultimately the driver for Reed is loss, right? He, like, especially in a setting like this in the US, you know, being religious and has a certain power, has a certain sway, and then what happens when literally God's roof will cave in on you and there's no one there to, you know, people look to you to answers and you don't have answers and people hold you back and all that sort of thing. And what I thought was really great, again, another star, appreciate I'm a part of the star, but like exactly the interaction between Margaret and Reed at the end when you said you're welcome back but your God isn't. I was like,
so good.
I was like,
so good.
So I was like, oh, I feel that. And it was just like, it's all the little digs. Like, that's what I imagined, like, again, not to get too like mesh about this, but you know, when someone has just been put down upon again and again and again, so when did they snap? And I was just like, and for me it was also a story because I could imagine us talking like, where do we go next in general? And I was like, but no one's talking about the real option that we could do. So I was just like, I will mention it. And then instantly I saw everyone turn. I was like, well, I can't go back now.
You have the choice to just be like, oh no, okay, fine. Sorry. Or
sorry,
way more interesting choice of like... Yeah, so good.
Because then obviously later on, then it's sort of, you know, because then everyone's going to be like, oh, but we also need to keep an eye on Reed because he did raise this fucking wild situation. And I didn't want to, again, as a story thing, didn't want you, if we had a longer series, all that, then we could really go into it. But I thought to myself, I don't want you to worry about, we must also keep an eye on what Reed's up to, because Reed obviously is just this pathetic man. I mean, I appreciate I putting a lot on him, but that's what it is. Like, so I felt like I will take this option off the table so you guys can really focus on like we need to move. And I was like, I'm always a big person of like, if I make a choice, the story goes forward. So like, as soon as I opened the door, I was like, because I did have one Benny left, and I was trying to figure out what I could do, and I felt the idea of using it to like, I don't know, somehow. Because you'd already talked about the radio, but the battery's been taken out. So I didn't want to be like, oh, I kick the radio and I make it go off or something like that. But I thought, no, that's too out.
Do you know what you could have done?
Go on. Yeah, I'm interested.
Grabbed a firework.
I did think that as well.
I mean, you got that effect, don't you worry?
No,
you got
it.
there in the end. Yeah, you achieved the same effect,
by shouting Bible verses.
To be fair, him screaming Bible verses was was more powerful.
The sound of like a human yelling is probably going to draw them more.
For sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Really well narratively thought out, Fiona. Like, kudos. Honestly.
Oh, that's very kind. Yeah, again, it's that's so kind of you guys. But you guys made it so easy in that sense of like, okay, you've done this. There's a knife to my neck. Well, so what's the simplest thing? Help! Like,
I do think it was a nice. I assume this went as I envisaged. Like, everyone was good, but like we all went PvP without discussing it, which one always should for safety tools. But like, I think everyone immediately knew exactly what was going on, and like, I think that is a good testament to the.
We did also discuss that PvP was on the table ahead of time.
And that's why
huge exponent of safety tools, and if you're listening to this, use them. But if you're on a call with the player and the player is sticking their tongue out, waggling their tongue and going, do it, then it's okay to do PvP with them.
We got the impression Fiona understood where the scene was
that felt very much like informed consent, if not baiting.
I kind of adore the idea that Fiona would go against what everyone else in the party was saying and then not expect it. Like, that would be fun in this world as well.
You attack me.
Like, I made sure to like say as well, because I was first in the initiative order. Just be like, if Fiona will allow it, because it's always good to check in. You know,
I very much appreciate that as well, because I think sometimes people. I think that's one thing I always say to players. It's like, if you're never sure about anything like rules questions or where something is to break the immersion and just be like, just so I've got this right, or I'm just going to say this. What do people think? It's it's like, can we try that again? Sort of technically, like if you say something, go, ooh, I like the idea. Let's try that again, but using this or this. So I'm especially when. Like, again, we've said this about safety tools and stuff like that. It's and also, we're all good friends. We've all played Blood on the Clock Tower together, apart from Pip, who understandably has stepped out from that.
I'd rather not betray my friends, thank you.
Yeah, unlike you guys, I have integrity.
Gotta say, you're missing out.
Don't eat it.
But it's, I think, because we're good at, like, again, that checking in of like, is everyone all right and all that sort of thing. So I think it's because I've played several stories with a number of you folks around the table now, and where betrayal has been a big thing. And I don't know if it's whether we're just suckers for punishment or if it's just
we love the
something
drama. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
We do love
Drama,
flavor.
yum, yum, yum.
Yeah.
Because again, it's not for everyone, but it's something that I truly adore when people go, "Oh, you fucker," and then I'm just like, right. I'll have to fucking deal with this, and it's just it's just not. I just as a storyteller, so it's something I'm like, oh, yes, more, ooh, yeah.
And it is very much in the genre. Like the reason we brought it up in the session 0 discussion is because in this genre, the people are as much the enemies as the dead. So I really appreciate that we got that. That's A+.
While simultaneously getting the amputation from a zombie bite, overrun by zombies, someone swarmed and taken. We got all the zombies are fucking frightening.
Yeah.
Also, the people are as
Scared
much
people
a
are
threat.
the worst.
That's the thing with this system that I'm learning is that it gives more space and time to people reacting to other people making that self-sacrifice move or that decision to turn against the party. Like when Richie died, when Richie went, and Liz,
R.I.P.
I could see you with your head in your hands going, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You did the thing that I wasn't expecting you to do, which was to go away and go, I'm drawing all the attention.
Yeah, that was
And you
really
could
so
do that.
good.
Yeah.
Great
That-
star there.
But you were able to go through all of the options with what was happening, and things were developing as you were explaining, and I was like, you're making this sound way more hopeless now. This is awful.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
terrible. And then you committed to it, and I was just, I was astonished. I was honestly astonished that happened.
Yeah, the line you said where you were like, oh, I do the thing that I've always done, and I run, but then flipping it on its head, living for it,
Yeah,
honestly.
it was so good. Yeah.
So good.
Marvelous.
As I've always said to Zach in these games, when he's like, "Oh, is player death okay?" I'm like, "Oh, you mean I get to be the center of attention? I'm me? I get to do a little drama about it." No, but again, I love zombie films. I love it. I love that moment where it's all hopeless and somebody's going to die, and is it going to be this person or that person? Is there any hope? Are they both going to, So I was happy to take a gamble. We really failed. So
I want to take a moment to give praise to the Savage Worlds system, but also the layout of the book, because it has a fucking index, which makes it so easy for me to find rules. And I just looked at some of my other systems, and I realized that none of them have indexes, and I'm like, this
really?
has made this game so much more easy to parse.
Shout out to the previous edition of Savage Worlds, I believe the deluxe edition, which is a really badly laid out book.
It's so
Learn mistakes,
Yeah.
Great game, absolutely wonderful game if you can find it in the book.
Yes.
So well done on improving that, Pinnacle Entertainment.
When we were building the characters, Pip, you were saying the character creation element isn't well laid out, because you create the character you kind of want at the beginning, and then when you go and choose your edges and your hindrances and all of that, it changes your base stats completely, so then you end up creating a completely different character.
Yes.
So
That's a carried over issue.
That
in my
is
opinion.
still an
Just-
issue. Look, I'm not
just
saying
in
this game
the order, just if you follow the character creation in order, then you're like, oh, I can't do the things I wanted to do. Anyway, we can.
but because we had Pip to explain it, I actually found character
Yeah,
creation
yeah.
very reasonable.
Well, that's the other thing I do want to shout out, because it's not often that we have co-DMs on WAIR or anything like that. I'm a massive fan always of GM's Corner, where we go, we need to put, it's like on Countdown, you go over to the Rachel Riley, which I believe Pip is in this, and can we just
You are
check
my
this?
Rachel Riley.
Because this is the thing, because I'm always a big fan of if you want to try a system as a GM and you've not played at all but someone else has, I think it's absolutely okay to set that expectation at the table of hey, I don't know all the rules about, can you help me? And set that expectation of ultimately, obviously, the GM running it is the facilitator, but having help, because that means everyone learns, and it's not it's not like an us versus them. And I just think it's just something that I love to see. So thank you so much to Pip to be like, here's something that is interesting, and again Zach as well asking and stuff, because we don't see that often on actual plays. Let's face it.
Sure.
So I very much appreciate it.
Oh, and Zach, it's been fantastic so far, by the way. Just everything's been
dude.
cool and so tense, and you're trying to kill us, but in the best way, it's been very exciting to play so far, as it always is.
Absolutely.
I realized that it was working when Fiona did her line in the opening episode, and everyone was like, ah! I was like, okay, you guys are on
We're on
Tinder
board
right now.
Yeah,
Ready.
Wild stuff.
That Tom's Creek being overrun episode, I am so proud of. I think
Yes, absolutely.
Really good.
I
That's
feel
tense and it was
really
awesome.
good about it.
It was so cool.
You really wanted to kill and injure us, and you did.
Yeah,
You
you
did.
did.
You
Done.
killed
It was
and
the
injured
moment
us.
when you said, like, Zach's really trying to kill us, where
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
you noticed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my god, thank you.
But also, you gave us such control over the world as well, such impact. Like the fact that Pip was able to blow up the shed,
Yeah.
MacGyver it so it became a bomb,
So good.
and let us have that, and then make it like a pivotal point. That was so good.
Zach is a very good GM for both being on story. Like, I think he has a kind of story that he wants, not necessarily like a specific plot, but like a kind of story.
Keeping you feel focused.
Yeah, feel focused and being indulgent.
Yeah.
For
Yes,
our
he's
nonsense.
excellent at being on story and also excellent at being on bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's what you need. It's what you need from a good GM.
There's nothing better than someone having an ask that is like, that is so in character, that is so like exactly what this person would have done. I can't say no to it. But the thing is you, especially with that bomb example, you've just introduced the mechanism of your own downfall.
Exactly.
You know?
And obviously,
Yeah,
like, I'm
so
not, I
good.
was never asking for a free bomb that would be awesome and go off exactly when I wanted it to and kill all the bad guys and everyone would survive. I was like, please, I want to roll for this. Let me get Snake Eyes so it goes off immediately and I instantly kill.
You
Right?
would
Like,
I would have vaporized you.
Yeah.
Of course. Snake Eyes there is Bud is vapor and everyone else is maybe also dead. Right? Like, so do that.
Yeah.
You know, that's so cool. And just to go off of what you were saying, and thank you. I have run a lot of Savage Worlds. I've never played it. I've never been a player.
I never realised that.
This is my first time actually getting to be a player. So thank you, Zach, for that. So I can live my dreams.
How does it feel on the other side of the screen for you as a
Fucking
player?
cool. I feel that I feel like the same. I've run it a lot, and people are like, "Man, I love how the combat feels like fast, and none of the turns feel like, oh, okay, I do this, and then I do this, and then I do 100 other things, and I roll. You know, like everything's just happening. You don't know. You don't have that fixed, D&D style turn order where you're just like, okay, I go then, and I'll wait till my turn next turn, and I go 8th in the turn order, and you just sit there and wait your turn. It's always changing. Jokers are happening. Enemies are getting jokers. You're getting jokers.
The fact we had 2 jokers for us, it was ridiculous. Oh,
Exactly. Right. Like, and it's I just the mechanics fit together so well. And I've only ever played it for, I think I've only ever run Deadlands, right, which uses the Savage World system, which is, the I'm actually here is going to be, Deadlands was the game that Savage Worlds was based on in the end, unless I'm getting my history completely incorrect. I believe they made Deadlands and then went, oh, this is a fun rule system. We'll spin this out into a system agnostic kind of thing and call it Savage Worlds. And that's why you have things like cards and poker chips, because they fit so perfectly in a Wild West setting.
Okay. That makes sense.
Right? And then you take them elsewhere and you're like, oh, a poker chip doesn't feel that thematically appropriate for a zombie game, but the system is so perfect for it. Like, and the little tweaks you've made, Zach, to like the bite stuff and that kind of thing is like, oh, you've made it exactly as lethal as it should be. And it's great. I'm having a wonderful time and you're all amazing.
Heck yeah.
This
Really
is cool.
glad. I feel like the bite mechanics are working like how they should.
Yeah, it sucks.
Unfortunately,
I was going to say.
Unfortunately, I'm terrified. Yes, I think also just kudos to everyone. We're all complementing each other really well, and I think it's evident in the story we're telling so far. So yeah, good job, everyone. It's exciting.
Incredible players that I'm so lucky.
Hell yeah.
I'm having a lovely time.
So,
and well, we're now that we're done patting each other on the back.
Yeah, let's say what we hate about each other.
yeah.
Stupid face.
I would love to just do, obviously we've kind of done stars throughout this. Let's do some wishes quickly. What do you want to happen next? Fiona.
Oh, fuck. I don't know. Whatever happens to the next character, I I think it's more of a wish for me to think about, but have a cool opening line when I appear, whatever it happens in the story. Not like
I think you'll probably be introduced later in the episode than what Lewis was.
That's what I assume. So whilst you're doing your chase and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but because I think my wish is like, I don't know, just the more of the tension in the sense of, we know that the zombies are always a constant threat. They're always like the everyday threat. But ultimately, the thing I find about zombie media is that they're not the real enemies. So the enemies of interacting with other settlements and other humans. So any sort of conflict or any politics like that, I'm here for that. So I can imagine that's going to happen, because I feel that's where it will go, and certainly what you've set up. But yeah, interactions with other groups in this fallout of the fall of Tom's Creek settlement. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Who was Tom?
Do you want me to tell you something?
Yeah.
All of the names of this are based on places in the real Olympic Park.
I figured.
I took the map of Olympic National Park, which had Forks, Washington. Shout out the Twilight franchise on it. And I just took names of places in there.
Edward will save us.
So it's Tom Daly Olympic.
And I made a little community that lived in the real park.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Fun.
Anyways,
Very clever.
Liv, why don't you go next?
Oh gosh.
What do you hope for Hope?
I don't know. I'm very torn because, well, I think my wish is that Hope will make her life count, whether or not that includes benefiting everyone else by, putting it. Don't look at me like that, Jess. By sacrificing herself in some way, maybe. But she's also very aware of the fact that Richie gave his life for her.
Yeah.
And that means something to her, like a lot. So I think she's going to like. I think if she was able to rest, which I doubt is going to happen, but I don't know. If she is able to rest and recover, I want her to embrace the change that her life has taken, if that makes sense. Yeah,
that makes sense. Liz, Lewis is relatively new.
Yeah, I want to die and bring in my other 43 runner characters. This is an idea that maybe you've already thought of, and I'm spoiling some kind of fun reveal, but like, God, there's got to be a lot of new zombies of all the people we used to know.
I mean, a lot of them got blown up.
That's true.
Yeah, it's fine.
The ones that survived sure got exploded real quick. But yeah, that's, again, I said this last episode, but one of my favorite things of zombies is that kind of uncanny, oh no, these the faces of your loved ones and they're now monsters. So yeah.
So what you're saying is you want Richie to come back and kill Lewis.
Yeah, then I bring in my other 43 runner characters.
Yeah. And then Lewis kills the new one, and then it just goes round and round.
Oh.
That's an interesting idea. Pip or Jess, do either of you have wishes?
Bud isn't good at running, and Hope has one leg. But I think even with the one leg, I think the crutch is you're probably still going to be faster than me. And also Stacey can carry people. So I don't know. But Bud wants people to get out of there, and he's as I said earlier, like, and this might even come up, but like, I think there's a thing of like, Bud's just found out that Hope is his biological daughter, but he did no raising of this child. I mean, apart from passively, I guess. I don't know when he arrived at the settlement, when she arrived exactly. That there may have, he's maybe been around, but he didn't know, and it feels like, family is who you sort of choose and who has put the time in raising you, and so obviously he's not like, okay, I'm a dad now, right? So I guess in the same way of like, he just wants he just wants to make sure that he does something for Hope that matters, right? That has a positive, hopefully ongoing impact on her life, basically. Okay. So we'll have to find out what that is.
I made a real crush. It's fine.
And, yeah.
I cut this here foot off a zombie and I give it to you.
Yeah, following up from that, and absolutely in no way related to it, possibly when Fiona's new character comes in and says their cool line, maybe another character played by me would be behind them, like hyping them up.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, that's a really good point. I'm just gonna, before Jess, you do yours. I was gonna mention this earlier. There really will reach a point narratively, especially with Mara, where like if Bud is alive, there reaches a point where she's probably gonna be an NPC.
Yeah,
I'm down to play both of them.
Yeah, play both.
Do it.
I'm down to play both of them and mechanically have one
strike.
In fact, I want to do that now. That's my wish, Zach. If Bud's still alive, let me kill him with Mara.
Okay. I'll let you do that.
Sweet.
That's a great idea.
Absolutely, I'll let you do that.
Okay.
That would be sick as hell. Jess, what is your wish? What is your sad little wish?
My sad little wish. As much as Stacey was all bravado and hammer tossing Reed's corpse and things like that, killing a priest will have fundamentally changed her.
Jeez, good point.
Killing anyone, killing a person.
This is two priests you killed today. You killed two.
Well,
Hang on. That one was fake.
Eunice is wearing a priest outfit.
I cut the hands off of one. I didn't really kill him. The dead did that.
The zombies killed him.
I just didn't help. But no, I think fundamentally having killed people, I like the idea that Stacey, from where she started sort of before the fall and the trek that she has made over the ocean towards Washington and all of that was like the hardship she faced, and then she found Tom's Creek and has been safe there for a number of years, and has, even though she's sort of like honed herself, she has forgotten, and she's almost like forgiven herself for all of the atrocities that she will have undoubtedly had to have commit to have survived getting to where she is.
Yes.
And doing what she did for the reasons that she did it. She knows it's like the greater good, but that's what she told herself back then, and she's not proud of herself. And for all of the caring and the maternal sort of instincts you've seen in her, there is so much more that she is hiding and suppressing, and that I think now will come to the surface, and I don't think it's going to be something good for the party.
Oh gosh.
So how that has an impact, the way that comes forward, is going to be really interesting to see, because she has rolled so well. I've rolled exactly 1-1
You've
at
done
this
so
point,
good.
and multiple explosions, which has been beautiful. But at the same time, I'm now like, there's a point where this is gonna. I hope she crumples. I hope she falls under pressure, and I hope she falls apart like a cake left out in the rain, sort of thing. Like, I'm excited to see what happens to her now.
So, love a bit of drama.
Yeah.
I guess my thing would be like, I wonder if like, will any of us with the backup characters get to the end, so to speak?
Yeah.
So I don't know if Zach, you've had a thought about what if there is a TPK? Is it like or if I think that's the thing I find interesting, because obviously we've made these characters to get through this story, but also you've said you've made it up so much and big. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, we'll see. I don't know.
You can all be runners. I got 43 runner character sheets ready to go.
I was
Billy, Tommy, Mandy.
Yeah. They've been lost in the woods for an indeterminate amount of time. You can just bring them back at any point.
Yeah, I think, listen, we will find an ending. Do you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Like,
Yes,
the
absolutely.
ending will find us as we go.
I hope the ending is just Binlid like scuttling off into the sunset, right?
It is Finland.
The future has been lit.
I do genuinely think we're at a point where, like, if you're not in your backup character by midway through the next episode, I don't think you're going to get to play them.
Interesting.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
so we should
interesting.
throw
Okay.
ourselves into the meat grinder, as it were.
Not suggesting you should go into the meat grinder, but like if we're doing 6 episodes, if that's what we're saying, is it, or
Yeah.
not, is it 6? No, 5. We're doing
Five.
5
Five things
episodes.
said, yeah.
Maybe 6.
If
Maybe
we're doing
7.
5 episodes, that means that if I introduce the backup character in the beginning of the last episode, that's not very satisfying for you or the audience. So I think we're going to start having because you're not going to get to play them properly. You're not going to properly introduce them. So I think we're going to have a point where like the party starts thinning.
Yeah.
Nice.
For sure.
That sounds good.
Can't wait.
And just on the throwing yourself into the meat grinder, also it's, you know, look, in every good zombie movie, someone has to make it to the end. So there's no
Yes.
shame if one
That's
of
true.
one of the OGs keeps going. It's not me. I've already died. But, you know, for
Yeah.
the rest of you, please try and live.
Yeah. Please, genuinely, try your hardest to live.
Oh man, like absolutely not.
I'm trying, Zach. You keep killing me.
What I'm suggesting is don't
Leg.
make it too easy for me, because I can hit hard. I got wings too, baby.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry we made it too easy for you, Zach.
No, I'm not suggesting you did. I'm just suggesting don't think because you know there's this whole like just FYI with the backup characters that I want you to throw yourself in the meat grinder.
Yeah. Would you be open to letting us advance?
I'm getting the vibe that this is not a campaign where we get advances, and that is fine. I feel like
Let me look at the
survive.
advanced rules.
Big womps.
I'm hang on. Let me.
I feel like I've gotten some XP. I don't know about
I
y'all,
feel
but-
like host. Like,
hey, I blew up a lot of people.
Yeah, I killed a priest.
Yeah,
I cut off my kid's leg.
I suffered emotional trauma. And physical.
Stacey has killed 2 priests today.
wow.
A new personal
That's an
best.
XP bonus. That's like
The day of the office for
collection.
Stacey. Am I?
My
yeah.
character discovered he was capable of fathering children, so
Wow.
that's XP, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what? You can advance.
Hey, I don't know what that means.
Oh my god, I don't know what
You
it
can
means, but I'm
go. You
excited.
can go to seasoned.
Season.
Or wait, no,
Okay.
no.
No, that's
Hang on.
enormous.
Wait a
That's
minute.
not how
think
that
Zach-
works. Sorry,
Zach-
I thought it was 5 level. No, you can go from 0 to 1.
0 to 1, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Be a
Yeah.
single advance, not a rank up. Yeah,
Cool.
I was like, whoa.
Hey.
it'll be a little
take it.
thing. But it's nice
Oh,
because
okay.
there's like there's edges and stuff, and I feel like various characters are in a position where they could take an edge that would make sense based on what they've been
What's
through
happened,
so
yeah.
far,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, cool.
Well, thank you
right.
so much for listening to this talkback. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you to Fiona for having us on her fabulous podcast.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy what is to come. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.